What's going on, fam? It's the entertainer, motivator, educator, Lucky Murray, back with another Gamecock news update. Today, we are talking about the second, the second episode of Welcome Home that is being played on ESPNU. So this is a recap, people. If you're looking to watch the full episode in its entirety, you're going to have to wait to the re-airing of the show. So let me know if you watched the episode live because I want to talk real quick. I'm not going to hold you too long, but we're going to talk, shall we? So, what are my thoughts about this particular episode, to say the least? Number one, this episode was, I think the tone was a lot different from this episode than the first episode that dropped. I felt like the first episode was a lot more, the pacing was a lot different. I think they coming from spring practice and all the hype with that. This seemed like they just recorded it not too long ago because they were speaking about the first day of fall practice. And when I looked at it, when I saw these different things like that, I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And one of the quotes that I wrote down, Shane Beamer said, it was the narrator, not Shane Beamer, but the narrator said, football is back. The 2022 South Carolina is looking for high expectations. And when I look at the word high expectations, I'm like, this program knows exactly what is being said about it. This program knows exactly what is in stake, and they are ready for the um, the challenge of having high expectations. Because remember, guys, a couple years ago, nobody was talking about South Carolina, to say the least. There was no mention of South Carolina. So, with that being said, I felt like that was the tone for this episode right here. And this is a spoiler alert again. So if you haven't seen the episode, I'm going to touch on some things that I felt like was important. I'm not going to touch on everything. But this will be a spoiler alert. Like it comes out Wednesday night, and I'm gonna be doing these things every Wednesday. Seems like you guys liked it, but Shane Beamer broke down the expectations for the year, right? The first thing he said to his players is number one, we do not have a lot of rules on paper, just standards. And I did a video. I did a video this morning where Mark Stoops were taking shots at Shane Beamer. He said the difference between climate and culture. He said anybody could come in and change the climate, put on some stupid glasses, change jerseys, give a prep talk here and there. But it's difference between the and the um, climate and the culture, right? So I felt like Shane Beamer is doing just that by changing the culture of the team. The second thing he said, don't do anything that will hurt the team. And that's one thing that you see about Shane Beamer that he does and he mentions. He says that he don't want to do anything that is going to hurt the team. And the main thing is that throughout this episode, that's the theme you really heard. The team, the team, the team. You know, don't do anything to hurt the team. Bring that energy. And the thing that kind of shocks me a lot of times when I'm watching these episodes is the simple fact that when you're talking about the little things, these players are being reminded every day for the little things, right? And the third thing he said he wanted people to talk about how the team is holding themselves accountable. The team itself is holding itself accountable. And they did a little thing about Spencer Rattler being the highest ranked quarterback ever to come to South Carolina, which is a big news. But I think that the season is going to boil down more than Spencer Rattler, right? So it goes into his golf tournament that he has. And I think all the coaches had like a golf tournament. So that was very recent, the golf tournament that raised money for the program. So the first practice, uh, time to get ready. And there was a sense of urgency with the team when you watch this episode, right? And the one thing that he did not like, he had to break down and kind of put 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 the practice on pause, was simply because they had a lackluster performance on 7-on-7s. As you guys know, with 7-on-7s, you are not you are not going full 11-on-11. So if you got lackluster performance 7-on-7, what do you think you're going to do when you playing man 11-on-11, pass on everything else? So the body language, that's one thing he spoke about when he did this um, when he did this episode. He said the body language needs to improve because it looked kind of not so great. And the little things, and I said that earlier, but the little things that Shane Beamer is preaching, he wants to instill in that team to build a culture. And that's one thing that I learned. He wrote notes down, every little detail. He bangs it into the player's head. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the team responds, September 3rd against Georgia State. But as of right now, as they're showing us in this documentary, that Shane Beamer is well aware of what he needs to do at South Carolina in order to take the program to the next level and not just to be a 7-win team, right? So Eric Douglas, they highlighted a few players. They didn't really highlight Spencer Rattler, but they did highlight Eric Douglas, which is a 6-year senior. That's amazing that you can get 6 years in the NCAA. But remember, you can get 5 years, and they granted an extra year because of COVID-19, right? Because of that, a lot of guys are taking advantage of 6 years. Listen, if you're going to give me 6 years, give me that bachelor's and the master's, right? A little things about what they said about Eric. His dad was an All-American at the South Carolina State level. I think he was an All-American at an FBS school. His dad knew Eric wanted to stay after his senior year, his second one. um, and and his dad had a heart attack. I think he was having a heart attack or some medical issue. I don't necessarily know if it was a heart attack, but the man was trying to tell coach's son as he was going into the ambulance. And one of the things he said was, if things didn't go the way I think they should go, I want my son to know that to be a good football player, because that meant a lot to him. If I'm in the ambulance and my heart's about to give out, I'm not going to give out basketball or football instructions. I'm going to tell you that, let me go on about my business. Let me continue to move on. So Marcus Satterfield did make an appearance, right, here and there, kind of showing the wide receivers what they can do. But he's going to play in a crucial role to see if this offense really can elevate. He has an elite quarterback. The offensive line, has, came back because of the lackluster performance that they had last year. So you got more unity in the offensive lineman. Will this be something that Marcus Satterfield can elevate this team? If he doesn't, the blame is not going to fall back on Spencer Rattler. It's going to fall back on Marcus Satterfield. And Shane Beamer may have to make adjustments if this thing blow up in his face, which I don't think it will, but it will. Javon Gwynn, they said they profiled him a little bit. Interesting story. He led his high school team that didn't win any games to a 5-7 record, and they won the state championship. And he was an offensive lineman and led the team. Who knew? But that's pretty much it for Welcome Home. And it was a good show. It really was. So here's what I need you to do, because I'm not going to hold you guys that much longer. If you like what you see, man, please write in the comment section below about the Welcome Home show, episode 2. And also, they cut a little short. ESPNU, you cut a little short for the Little League World Series. So I couldn't enjoy the rest of my 3 minutes because you want to be greedy and show us the Little League World Series, which, by all means, little dudes, home runs all the way. But I'm trying to watch the Gamecocks. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Get us the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, and please don't forget all 3. Lucky Murray back with another Gamecock news update. We did a recap of Welcome Home. If you haven't seen it, I think it re-airs on Friday. Check it out. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. But like always, let me see if I can find it. There we go. It's the next time, people.